Welcome to the MetalliDads podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Stanford.
And I'm your other host, Blake Metallica.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us for episode 2. Hopefully you enjoyed episode 1. Thanks for being patient with us as we, hunker down into these microphone EQs. I apologize if there was any sort of ear-piercing mids that were coming through, and there was also some volume balance. But hopefully we've got that squared away here in episode 2.
Let's hope so. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe to all of our podcasts on all of the platforms. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Send us an email to MetalliDadsPodcasts@gmail.com. All the good stuff. So we are here to talk about our first Metallica concert experience. 2009, Nashville, Tennessee, on the World Magnetic Tour. We're going to kind of go from beginning to end for that day and the entire set list. A couple of things happened during that show that were pretty unique for us, especially for it to be our first show. We got pretty lucky.
We cried. We almost died. And we got to see Metallica. So overall, I'd call it a win.
Yes, definitely should have eaten that day too.
Yes.
A couple of things we kind of brushed over real quick too during episode 1. I don't know if you heard during Blake's story, but he did mention how many Metallica tattoos he has, and that we kind of brushed over that, but probably the most Metallica tattoos on one individual that I've ever seen.
36. I've reached out to Guinness, and they don't seem to care, so.
I don't know why. I mean,
I met Lars, and he told me it was the most he'd ever seen, so I'm going to call that a world record. So, suck it.
Yes. World record complete. We don't need Guinness to confirm that.
Lars Ulrich approved.
Yes. So what would you say, do you have a favorite? I know that's impossible to ask.
Probably the Lars on my thigh just because he liked it so much.
There's a picture of that on your Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Either that or I have underneath my portrait of James, I have a tattoo of the DeHaan logo from the secret set at the second Orion that Lars took a picture of to send Dane DeHaan, who it was named after. I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
You might have told me, but that's awesome.
That was in that was the Rock on the Range meet and greet. I showed it to Lars, and he had to take a picture and send it to that guy.
Is there one that hurt the most?
Excuse me. Probably Kirk on the back of my thigh. That one was terrible.
And that's Kirk as a vampire, right?
Vampire Kirk in the car. Yes.
Okay. I remember, the one I remember the most would probably be when you got Lady Justice on your arm.
That was a long night. That was New Year's Eve, I believe.
Yeah. I remember that one very vividly.
I remember I got really drunk the next night. That was the first real big tattoo I ever got. And I got just shit-faced. And I was just slapping the hell out of it because I was like, this doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt. And I woke up the next day and my arm was like the size of Andre the Giant's.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was large. That's what she said.
That's not good. And then I also remember you getting the James at a convention, which, looking back now, like I can't even imagine hashing that thing out as fast as it got completed.
Oh, yeah, that was a long day, too. 5 hours of tattooing, what should have took 8.
Yeah, it definitely should have taken much longer than it did. It's a lot of blue.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah, so, I don't have any Metallica. I do have one Metallica tattoo. It's MFF, which...
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Because you probably have one.
Hi, like all 6 people listening that have the same tattoo as us.
Congratulations. You're part of the in crowd. And I wonder how many of an influx of that tattoo we're going to see now. If people start finding out about it. Which, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're
all welcoming.
Yes, we are very welcoming. Just to kind of...
But enough about my body. Let's talk about this show.
Enough of your body. So before I got into some facts about the World Magnetic Show, I did want to bring up that there's this interview that Lars did a couple of days ago. And
you told me about this.
You may have seen this somewhere on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It went pretty much everywhere. I think it was like December 30th or something, but they were talking to him about them recording their new album, which at this point, I kind of knew they were doing something, but I didn't know it was like official. Yes, we are doing something. And we joked about before we started that does this seem a little early? And then Blake's like, hush.
It's been 5 years. Not nearly as long as it could have been, so let's just not get crazy over there.
I would definitely say we're pretty lucky that if we get one in the next year, because
I'll settle for 2.
well, yeah, we are definitely not lucky enough to get another load reload situation where we get 2 full complete albums back to back.
Just give me one that sounds like Load or Reload, and I'll be fine.
That's true.
Give me Bleeding Me Part 2. Sure. Unforgiven 7.
He also talks about, of course, all their Zoom meetings or whatever, but it says that, and I quote from Lars Ulrich himself, "It's the heaviest thing, the coolest." He enthused. But all kidding aside, if it wasn't because we thought that the best record was still ahead of us, then why keep doing it? Now, he's mentioned that several times, that they have not written their best album. So we can have opinions all day, but
Absolutely.
Lars said that they have not written their best, so
I'm going to catch shit for this one, but there's no such thing as a bad Metallica album. There's only such a thing as a bad Lou Reed album that just happened to have Metallica on it.
I agree. If you look at Metallica, does it say Metallica featuring Lou Reed, or is it just...
It's just called Lulu.
Okay.
The word Metallica's not on the cover.
That is very true. I think that's a pretty good excuse to not do that. I think there's a reason they didn't do that too. I just have this weird... They had to have been sitting in the studio and thinking, what is this?
No, because they like Lou Reed. And I can't say that I'm a fan, but that's just my personal taste. I don't like anything.
I don't know, man. To me, I remember listening to the first track.
I was so excited because I didn't know what it was. I was like, new Metallica, let's go.
I had never, being honest, I had never heard a Lou Reed song. Fortunately.
Oh, I hadn't either.
Fortunately. So it says, also from Lars, in Metallica, we love the creative process, and it's hard for me to imagine that we'll ever stop making records. So let's take that to the bank,
keep
Lars.
That energy.
Yes. We're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, that's a legal binding contract. It's on the internet.
Well, it's hard for me to imagine that we'll ever stop making records.
I'll cry.
Cool. Awesome. We'll keep that in mind. Onward. So, into some interesting facts about World Magnetic Tour. Now, this is from Wikipedia, so, take it as it is, but...
Grain of salt.
Yes. World Mag Tour was from 2008 to 2010. We saw them in 2009 because it was on the 1-year anniversary of Death Magnetic's release, right?
September 14th.
Okay. It might have been a year and a day.
I think the album came out on September 12th.
Okay.
So a day off.
Yep.
2
very
days
close.
off, whatever.
Mm-hmm. So started San Francisco. They toured Europe and South America, Asia, all those places. This says that the tour ended up being the most successful by Metallica.
Really?
It says grossing roughly $217 million, the 18th highest grossing tour of all time.
Okay.
Should have been number 1. I don't know who's
Probably
out there.
Michael Jackson or something.
Michael Jackson or like the Beatles, and they're like counting for inflation or something. Who knows? Something else that's interesting too is all the bands that toured with them on this show. So if I scroll down, we saw them with Gojira and Lamb of God, but according to this, Alice in Chains played a show with them in Dublin. Avenged Sevenfold.
Of course they did.
Yeah, they're always hanging around. Machine Head was on a couple, which
that would be a fun one.
Dude, I would have.
They put on a good show. I've seen them once.
I would have much rather a Machine Head than Gojira.
Yeah.
Just to hear Halo. Mastodon was there a couple times.
That would have been fun.
Sepultura.
I'm good.
Volbeat, not surprising.
The Sword, that's another one Lars really likes.
Is there anyone else on here that sticks out? Mass Hysteria. Some of these don't even have links on Wikipedia. So
I know who High on Fire is.
Some of these, I think, might be some Hispanic artists because they're
From
exclusively in
South American tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I have never heard of. So, Baroness.
They're not bad.
Yeah. Well, they're on here. And then what's even more interesting is there's a song list. Now, again, I don't know how accurate this is, but there's a song list that tells you how many times they played a song
On
in
the
this tour.
Okay.
There are some surprisers on here. For one, they played
Green Hell.
they played Ecstasy once themselves, not just during the intro.
That was in, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm almost positive that was in Copenhagen. They always bust out the stops for that show because it's Lars's hometown.
They also probably did Suicide Redemption the one time they played that.
No, I used to know where they played that because I know somebody that saw it.
Well, one of my all-time favorite songs is The Outlaw Torn. They played that song 3 times during that tour.
Not in Nashville.
Not in Nashville. No, unfortunately. They played I Disappear.
We've seen that one a couple times.
They played Frantic 6 times.
Oh,
Where?
my God.
What the heck, man?
I can actually show you.
Yeah?
There's a website for that. Anybody who's kind of into Metallica and have seen them a few times, if you don't already know, ipalm.com, Insanity Palace of Metallica. There's all kinds of cool tour stats and for pick collecting and all kinds of cool shit. It's ipom.com. Check them out.
Let's see. Unforgiven 3, 7 times. I didn't even know they had played it that many times.
I knew they played it. That would have been really cool. Hole in the Sky, the Black Sabbath cover. I didn't know they've ever played that either.
They played it once, and they did Motorcycle Man.
I don't. It's Saxon. That's why I don't know it.
Let's see. No Leaf Clover 13 times.
Short of Straw 10 times.
Now, I'm kind of glad I did not see No Leaf Clover because this now means I've only seen No Leaf Clover with the symphony.
Okay, so I'm jumping ahead. They played Dyer's Eve 18 times, and I've never seen it once.
And I wish...
Shoot me in the face.
I know. And I wanted to correct my first statement during the first episode because I would like to take out Fixer for me and put in Dyer's Eve because I feel like that should trump that because of how many times that they've...
I'm going to have to disagree, but that's just me. Fixer holds a special place in my heart.
It does. And as devastating as it's going to be to hear Dyer's Eve and no double bass, which I'm not knocking Lars on that because of how old he is. He can do what he wants to.
Whatever he wants to.
You know, he's in the biggest metal band of all time. He can play the drums how he wants to play the drums. Then we've got, let's see what else on here. Some of these, then it starts to kind of get like up in the 36 times, like Hit the Lights 36 times. That's not shocking.
Not at all. Am I Evil 26 times? Which I didn't see that till, God. I've seen it. I can't remember when, but I've seen it.
What's funny is For Whom the Bell Tolls 77 times, and it was not in Nashville.
Yeah, we didn't see that song till Orion.
And now it's almost like it's become a staple now.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they do a set list without it at this point.
Yeah.
It used to not be.
Yeah, it used to be pretty rare. I remember us talking about hoping that we would get that one. Creeping Death, 81 times. And then we get into the Death Magnetic stuff, which obviously they played a gajillion times. The most, let's see, That Was Just Your Life was 169 times. And then not shocking is Master of Puppets, 1, Sandman, Sad But True, and Nothing Else Matters.
Seek.
186 times. And Seek and Destroy, which at this point they were ending with
Every
Seek and
show with
Destroy.
that, which I miss.
I do
dearly.
miss that. Yeah. And then it just goes into how much money they made, which we don't need to talk about that.
More than we have.
More than we'll ever see.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess we could just kind of jump into it. The first song that we've got coming up, they started... Well, should we do that, or we want to start with the day first? Let's kind of backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
Let me just cut you off there. Don't get too excited. I promise you're going to get to hear some Metallica today.
Yes.
Just not right now.
How did that day start? God, it's all... How long has it been? 2009 and it's 2021, so...
11?
Math.
11.
11 days,
Yeah.
years.
Well, what's funny is, too, I think it started at like 9 p.m. the day before because I had a horrible time sleeping.
Oh, same. I think You were at my house. We were waiting on my dad, as we always had to.
Yes, we were at Nanny's house.
Yes.
Chattanooga. And waiting on your dad. He came, picks us up.
Like 45 minutes late.
Yeah. And it's, of course, we were just sitting there waiting like, okay.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
It's time to go. And this was like at 2 o'clock in the morning, too, because we had to go and pick up
My little sister, who lived in Paris, Tennessee, which is roughly 4 hours from where we live.
Yeah. So we had to drop all the way there first and then back over to Nashville. I remember parking underground and then going to find our spot. I'm pretty sure there were only 5 people in front of us when we got there.
That sounds about right.
There were 3 that
And
I
then-
didn't know in front of us right up against the door with
And then
chairs.
the 2 lifelong friends we've made from that show,
Yes.
who we don't see as much as we'd like to, but we still love them.
Yeah.
Corey and Blake, funny enough.
Corey Blake. Yeah. We talked literally the entire time we were in line.
We had never met like hardcore fans other than ourselves at this point. Like we didn't know what we were walking into culture wise. It's like heaven.
I definitely didn't know. And now that we've been to as many as we have, like our little corner of the world, we were the biggest Metallica fans. And now in relation to everybody else, it's like, whoa. I didn't know there was somebody else just like me.
Like there's instances where it's like, damn, we ain't shit.
No. I don't even know what time those people in front of us could have gotten there to beat. Because we got there.
It was still dark. So it had to be 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Something like that. Because it's an hour difference between us.
We
drive-wise, so.
got in line in front of the Sommet Center and didn't move.
Yeah. I remember, as we've said so many times, not eating. Biggest regret.
It was terrible.
There was a Tennessee Vols.
It was the College Football Hall of Fame. It was connected to the arena, and we were so bored that we both paid like $8 to walk through this, not giving a damn about football at the time. And Tyler's an Alabama fan.
Yes.
And we're in the middle of Tennessee.
So there's like Vols.
Nothing for him at all.
There's Vols. It's Vols and Eli and Peyton Manning everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, I mean, you talking about a level of bored that I had ever
Like,
experienced.
this is before cell phones could get on the internet.
Again.
Well,
yes.
for free.
Yeah.
You had to pay for internet back
This
in
was
those
a flip,
days.
you're on a flip phone and your Safari's trying to load or whatever
You're
it is.
hitting end 17 times so your mom doesn't call you about the bill.
Oh my gosh, perfect. Yeah. And I remember, I think we sat in line and we listened to some music. You're that fan that's sitting there listening to Metallica before you go to see Metallica.
I think you brought your iPod.
I did bring my iPod, but it's probably some little pocket speaker that folded like this,
Probably.
like a little V. I remember that. So we waited there. I'm sure the doors probably opened around 5 or 4.
Probably 5 or 6.
And this was before we were Met Club members too. This was before we joined the world of Met Club, which I wish we would have had that during, because that was at the point where I think they were they letting all Met Club members in early?
You had to buy the tickets through Met Club.
But once you did, you had early access for like 30 minutes, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be 100% true, but
What a time to be alive.
yeah.
That luxury has since sailed.
We won't get into the Met Club because, Jesus Christ, that's a thing now. It's
Yeah.
like talking politics, which is nothing we will ever do here.
No, that is not going to happen. So, yeah, definitely not going to talk about that.
Never.
No. So
Unless James Hetfield runs for president, I don't care what party he is, he has my vote.
I think you would have every Metallica member's vote.
That's a real landslide right there.
Landslide victory. So, we get gates open. We, kind of run in. This is our first concert experience at this level. So we're, running down the stairs, going down to the floor. Met Club has, proceeded to take up the entire rail devastatingly. So we
were not on the rail for our first Metallica show, sadly enough. That's okay because we made up for it many times after that.
Yeah, we were rail adjacent.
We were rail adjacent. I could
probably
touch it
if I wanted
through
to
somebody.
invade somebody's space, which I think at some point we probably did. So yeah,
With consent.
Gojira comes on first, do typical 45-minute set, change. Then Lamb of God comes on, another typical 45-minute set. And then, finally.
Real quick, I want to talk about Lamb of God
Sure.
because as much as I hate that we didn't appreciate him then because I didn't care, I'd never really listened to him, but I did notice that one of their guitar players was out, and the guy filling in for him was one of the guitar players from God Forbid.
Oh, I remember that now.
Doc Coyle.
Yes.
Which he's in Bad Wolves.
Yeah.
Now.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I think this was, I don't know what, I'm not even going to pretend I know what album was released at that point for Lamb of God.
Oh, I have no idea. Probably Sacrament, but don't quote me on that.
I feel like it was because they were, like, Walk With Me in Hell was a big one for that show.
Was that on Sacrament?
Maybe.
I remember they played Redneck, which I would kill to hear now.
Yes. Just because there's so many memes between the two of us of that song. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. But unfortunately, being as young as we were just like, can this band just please?
Can James Hetfield come out and rock my dick off?
Oh, and can we talk about the crowd for a second too? Like the crowd in Nashville, man.
Trash.
Like,
if you were there, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about you specifically.
If you were up in the seats, you were probably a lovely person.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the floor, oh my gosh, everybody was just so drunk already before Metallica came on, which I know is expected. You can drink whatever, but just don't. Like the entire show was just one big push.
Yes.
There was never a
There
moment.
hasn't been a show like that since either.
No.
Not that bad.
No. And we've seeing them like in huge festival shows, like Lala or Heavy Montreal.
50,000 people behind you, and it didn't push that bad.
No, and there was like what?
And it was broken to four sides.
This was when they were in the round.
This is redneck drunk strength, okay? We're in the middle of Tennessee, which I'm from Tennessee, so I could call them rednecks. It's redneck drunk strength.
It was, and by the time Metallica came on, I mean, I can remember the pushing consisting of between sets. Like, there's no band on the stage, and people are still pushing. And I'm like,
there's nowhere to go.
What is happening right now?
Sit down.
Just stop.
I'm trying not to fall over. My stomach is eating my backbone, and I just want to die. But I'm not moving.
No,
like, I ain't moving. I'm going to see Metallica for the first time ever. I counted it down on Facebook like the child that I was. Every day I'd post a new status, 98 days, 97 days, so on and so forth. I wasn't moving.
I remember that.
Like, you could not have pulled me. You'd have had to kill me.
Well, and I remember too, like, yeah, it was just real bad. So, sorry, Nashville. And again, I've been to shows since then, did not have that problem. So, probably my favorite type show, as much as I'm extremely envious of anybody that's in the snake pit, but a snake pit show, if you get that side of the catwalk, that's like golden. Because there's not, you can't really, I mean, you can push, but it's not.
There's no point in it.
No, and I don't know. It's just like the crowd's dispersed enough around you that you can just.
Yeah, I've been spoiled on those. I've got to see 2 shows from the Snake Pit, and if there's anyone from the Met Club listening, I will do some dirty shit if you can guarantee me Snake Pit passes for every show.
Oh, man.
Just throwing it out there. My wife doesn't care. She'll watch if you give her one too. So
if I can't have a snake pit, then don't do a snake pit.
I agree with that. If I can't get in the snake pit, I just want it to be a regular rail show.
Regular rail, please. They did. Lollapalooza was like that. That's where I got my first drumstick.
Yes, it was.
And they were, so, of course, but then at the same time, like, when they're not like that, they're so far away because the stage is so daggum high.
Yes.
So it's a, two-edged sword. It's, you're going to lose either way.
That's funny. I got my first drumstick at a straight-up rail show as well. Rock on the Range.
I guess it's just fate.
He's got good aim, dude.
He's really good at that, actually, and it's weird. I'm so thankful that I didn't get teased because
I'd have cried for you.
Dude, because everybody who's seen a video of Lars giving out a stick and he's just dangling it over, and obviously the entire crowd's just like, please, and they've got their hand out. But that didn't happen to me. He did that, and then was in the process of walking to his next point of doing that again, and just happened to catch my eye, and I just did the, give me that signal with my hand.
Let me get that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I did that. He makes eye contact with me, and he points, and I said yes, and he just kind of just featherweighted it.
I like how you described that for the people who can't see you. Just
Yes.
a little,
Yeah, just featherweighted it over the security guard and right into my hand. Like, I didn't have to jump. It just landed right into my right hand and then immediately went under my shirt.
yes. And I'd have killed anybody who touched it.
Yeah, you talking about anxiety.
See, you got lucky with that because, like, you just caught his eye. I was a lot luckier because I did a meet and greet earlier that day, and I pulled up my shirt, or actually I didn't have on a shirt because it rained all day, and I just threw my arm over the rail and pointed at the tattoo he was taking a picture of like 4 hours ago, and he said, "Oh shit," and threw it right to me.
So at least he remembered you.
Yeah, he knows who I am at this point. To be talked about on a later episode, he almost ruined my proposal.
Yeah, dude. About straight up. And then on a later show, remembered you enough to give you a beer
Yeah, and a towel
and a towel.
that he wiped his sweaty face with.
Yes.
But that's for later.
Yeah, we'll talk about all the cool
We're
stuff.
going to talk about
later.
cool shit that happened before that today. So anyway, first song.
First
Where are we
song.
at?
We will jump into it. Excuse me. So, obviously, Ecstasy of Gold comes on. And this was, I don't think there were any screens during this show.
No, they were not.
They had
the coffins.
They had
They
the
didn't have screens.
coffins. Were they playing the video in the coffins? Because I know the coffins had screens, right? Because you could see, didn't they? Or was it
No.
just lights?
No, it was just lights, as far
Okay.
as I remember.
I
If
think
we're
I'm-
wrong, tell us, but I think I'm right.
Well, I think I'm getting confused between that and when they had the boxes.
Okay, then yeah, there were no screens on the
Okay.
coffins.
So now they play the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly video. That's the name of the movie, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Clint
So-
Eastwood.
But, Ecstasy of Gold comes on, and the entire crowd explodes, as per usual.
Yeah.
And then your heart starts pumping, and you're singing the song as loud as you can. And so you're blowing your vocal cords before they even come out.
Oh yeah.
So then we just kind of jump into it. The first song we have is That Was Just Your Life. See, the crowd's like pumped.
It was about at this point where I lost my shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm like freaking out. And I like, some people might give Metallica flack for this, but I like the fact that they don't play everything. Like, let a track do its thing. Like, you don't have to play this intro.
No, not at all. I'm cool with a tape.
Yeah. And I know a lot of bands do that, but I think it's pitch black still at this point. Maybe some accent
no, it's
lights.
pitch black so you start getting the accents.
I'm like getting chills just remembering. the
Yes.
moment.
This is when they started to come onto the stage. Lars.
This
was
is
already
not.
there.
This is not making like cancel, live shows any easier at the moment.
At all.
You can't see us right now, but we're air drumming. Here we go.
It was right here. I cried.
Hey James, how's it going?
Miss you, buddy.
Kudos to you two for getting all these lyrics out live
Yeah.
while playing that rhythm.
That's called diction.
Yes, it is.
I always think about the Making of Magnetic DVD right there when he starts doing gibberish. A beep a beep boo, ba dee ba dee boo.
Yes.
It's always tickled me watching him do that with those things.
I just love James' mannerisms in general. He's just all around hilarious all the time. You could tell like he just likes to play around constantly. And I'm sure in the early days that would drive Lars absolutely insane.
Oh, I have no doubt.
I'm sure there's video evidence of that I can't think of, but he just seems like he's a character all the time.
Like, I love the videos of him tapping on security guard shoulders and like looking the other way. Like the
Mm-hmm. Verse 2. So I think I'm going to kind of let this just fade out, but they, that was Just Your Life being the first song ever.
That's a ripping song to start a show off with. Especially for 16-year-old me who wasn't ready at all.
Oh,
I didn't know what
no.
they were going to start with. I didn't look at a set list at all.
Yeah. I don't think neither one of us looked at one, but there have been some openers that I preferred over others for sure.
Like, don't get me wrong, there's openers that are better than this, but this one's nostalgic AF.
Yeah. Especially because it's dead quiet and then it just starts with the heartbeat, and yeah. So that was Just Your Life. And then we'll just jump into song number 2.
What was that, the end of
The
the line?
End of the Line.
This is your life.
This
This is your life.
I wish there's a few songs like that played there. I wish they would have kept in rotation. Like, this is a fun one.
It's a lot of fun. There's some really fun songs in Death Magnetic. They're just fun to sing along to, especially when it gets to like the bridge of this song and it slows down. And I don't know. It's a good album. As much as everybody hates on the way it was mixed and the audio quality. I don't know. Obviously, they kind of worked all those kinks out before the live, and anything recorded live is different anyway. So it's always better.
So this is a story we can say on air, but do you remember when this album came out, we really got into it, and I called you from my truck one day. I just listened to this song, and it got to the clean part.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that. And yes, I remember exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, we can't share that one, but just know that it's funny.
It's very funny. Yeah. I have to tell you, I was listening to this before, just earlier this week, and it was just good to reminisce, but I had forgotten so much about this. I remember listening to it so many times.
Oh, I burned this to the ground.
And we knew every extra lick that James had, whether he was just saying Nashville or just yeah, or let me hear it. Like we knew every single.
I knew how he said every single word. Like there's parts in this set that if it's a song they play live, I still sing it like he's singing it here.
Yes, and it'll throw you off too, because that's especially if you're around us. We're like, he didn't say that at all. What are you talking about?
Yes, he did. It was just like 10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago.
So that's a fun one.
Yeah. So, first 2 songs off the album, open those up. That's kind of awesome.
And then we get to move into something I like to call old stuff.
Yeah. I think James is going to tell us about that, actually. What about it, James?
Here's some old stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now this song
This
for an
was so
intro
fun.
is so good. Like Lars runs out from the back with the LED wall and stands up on the seat, and then you just go right into the. It is what it is. It's beautiful.
Sadly, we didn't. I don't think we knew at this show because we'd never seen them live. I didn't know you were supposed to scream, chant, die. I was just chanting with them, saying like watermelon, like they tell you to in choir class.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't think I probably didn't know. Something, too, that I think about often is I catch myself sometimes during a show not singing because I just want to hear James.
No.
Now, there are some moments where I do sing constantly. There are certain songs that I sing constantly, but then there's also some moments where I just want to hear, feel like, oh.
Like if it's something I've seen a million times, I might not sing. Like Nothing Else Matters. That's when you go take a piss. Not literally because you'll lose your spot, but that's what the group chat text is during Nothing Else Matters.
Everybody's like, okay, run to the bathroom. Yeah. It's, Also, there are some members, too, that I catch myself watching more than others.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel so bad, but it is what it is. If you happen to be in front of me, I'll watch, like if Rob or Kurt comes. But my eyes, 9 times out of 10,
to Lars and James.
I'm glued to Lars or I'm glued to James. And it is what
That's
it is.
just how it goes. That doesn't mean that they don't matter, but
Yeah.
it's just hard not to watch James Hetfield.
It's very hard not to watch James Hetfield. Especially during his, wardrobe changes or like what he was wearing at the beginning of Through the Never.
Yeah.
And it's just the jacket, R.I.P.
Yeah.
battle vest.
And one of these days, I'm going to walk into unclaimed baggage, and I'm going to find that, and I'm just going to cry. Because I ain't going to get paid, but I'm going to get some bullshit.
Dude, you get to be the new Wayne.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine, like, if I got it, I'd hold on to it for a couple days.
Oh, don't think I wouldn't take some pictures in it with my shirt off.
And
Like,
not
I'd go
tell
do-
James that I did it.
I would go do a boudoir shoot just for my wife in that jacket and nothing else. And I'm
Knowing-
sorry for that visual.
Knowing that it had been on James.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody out there in the ether has that vest. You know they do.
I'd give you my card for it right now.
And he has some other ones. But that one visually, I think he probably had worked on the longest,
Yeah.
if I had to guess.
Those are nice
'Cause it
vests.
looked really good. But I couldn't tell you what's on the back of it, though.
I don't remember.
His taste is so obscure.
Yeah.
And,
All my patches are Metallica.
yeah, he's not going to have...
It'd be kind of weird if he had his old patch on there.
It's just
So I get.
Metallica real big on the back, and it's got just the Master of Puppets
I know he
album
had a
cover.
Cliff patch on the back.
Oh, that's-
R.I.P.
And I bet you we had a Motorhead.
Oh, I guarantee it.
So, hey, here's the part.
Yeah, I was just singing, screaming watermelon.
Before we fade the song out, we got to hear Rob's part.
Oh, that's my favorite part of this song live. Like I've seen him do it in front of me a couple times. It's wonderful.
Here it goes.
Motherfucker time.
Awesome. That's all we needed to hear. We know the rest of the song. So that was Creeping Death.
Now this next song I did not expect, and I about fell out on the floor when it started because I love this song and it was so fun. We've seen it twice, I think. Now
I think now, yes. I think now we have seen it twice.
it's not one they bust out a whole lot.
Mhm. And this was the Met on Tour video. If y'all throw back to Met on Tour videos, do they even do those anymore? Is Met on Tour a website?
It's still active. I don't know. They post everything to YouTube now, so I have no idea.
Well, I'm sure you remember. If you don't remember, the Men on Tour videos they would do some meet and greet videos, which I've heard Middle Up Your Podcast mentioned how cringy those are, and they always are. And
Yeah,
I
they
feel
are.
so bad for those fans.
I'm glad I never had to be in one.
Yes, you didn't. I mean, you've been in the situation, but you fortunately had been able to watch kind of the interactions.
Thankfully, I was just an Instagram story, so it wasn't that bad.
Yes, and yeah, I just feel so bad for those people because when you meet your hero, it's so hard to like.
Have a camera in your face.
I couldn't.
Like, I'm enough of a wreck as it is, let alone you're recording me. Shit.
And you just say the worst things ever. I think I actually went back and watched this one, and some dude had offered to make Lars. Oh, it was Rob. He had offered to make Rob a strap for his bass, and Rob was being so nice, but all I could think about was him thinking, "Oh dear God, I wonder what this is going to look like."
Yeah.
So
Probably made of yarn.
yeah. So then anyway. So this is the Met on Tour song for that video.
Holier than thou.
This is where it all comes full circle for you. Your first Black Album song live.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that part. That was my first album. This is third or fourth song on that album.
Yep. Third or fourth. I can't think of it right now, but
Sandman, Sad. What was it? Holier.
yeah, it's number 3. Holier Than Thou. The end part with just the bass is awesome.
Yes.
Rob kills it.
It is wonderful.
Yeah. Of course, just classic Metallica in Metallica fashion. Now, this next song that comes up though was a shocker for me because, like, now they don't play this song until way, way later.
This is the last 3. Is it in the encore now? Or right before?
It's right. It's at least right before. So like, it's so weird because when I looked, I was like, "Oh, my iTunes got this way off."
Yeah.
And then I looked at the set list, and sure enough,
Fifth song.
it's there. And I'm sure you probably know what it is just from the intro. And no, it's not Lars hitting a snare. Da, 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 da.
That was fun to watch him get to play around with that live.
That was cool. Now, night 2, I did feel like it went on a little too long.
Well, Lars,
He was a bit a little extra.
Yeah.
And in the moment, he was like, "This is the last time I'm going to get to do this." And little did he know that was going to be the last show he had played
for a while.
for, until now. Well, they played Stern and places like that, but
They did the Pandemica show, but that doesn't count. They didn't play in front of me, so it's not a real show.
yeah. So anyway, in case you didn't know, this is one off their famously named And Justice for All album. And they made that one music video.
Which one?
Ba-doom-ts.
Tyler, who's on first? People always said we looked like Abbott and Costello. Why not play the part?
Nah, yeah. Did they do lasers during this part?
Yes, it was pretty cool.
They always do lasers during this song, but it fits.
It's one of those songs I enjoy, don't get me wrong, but I fucking replace it at this point.
I've heard it so many times. And I know there are so many people, and there will always be somebody that's never seen Metallica live, and they have to see one. And
They don't have to.
I mean,
Like, I'll give you Sandman,
you can have Sandman, sure.
and even as much as I can't stand the song now, Nothing Else Matters. But we don't have to play one every single show. We could replace it with, like, Ronnie.
What a set change. Could you imagine? How about they just keep the same intro, too? Do the same war scene and everything, and go
then they
right
start
into
playing Ronnie.
Because everyone would have PTSD at that point. And so it would fit right in.
Oh, you do Shoot Me Again. That fits.
Shoot me. Yes, that would be perfect. If you've heard one, you've heard it 1,000 times. So we won't make
If
you
you've
listen.
heard it one time, you've heard it 1,000.
Yes, you have.
Now, this next song is one song that I think they should play every single show. It's so much fun live. It's one of those songs where he talks before it, and he just gets you in the moment, and it's a fun one. It actually ended up being my dad's favorite Metallica song.
Let's see what he says.
Is it feeling good?
Nothing. He said nothing.
Is this feeling good?
Maybe it's at the
It's
end
at the end of one.
Okay, then
Even
it's
that
not
tickled
just
me
me.
to death.
Okay, well, what
It's
we're going to do
feeling
is I want to hear what he
Right.
says. Let's go back.
We've Metallica's been in town a couple times before this tour, right? I think Bonnaroo and a little club called Grimey's, right? And before that, Metallica are road dogs, you know that. We've been through here a lot of times, but our watch is kind of slow. It takes us a while to get here. And I want to know how many people here tonight that this is your very first Metallica show. Unbelievable. We are very grateful and glad that you are here finally. What took you so long, we don't know. Now put your hands in the air.
I'm sorry, James. I
If
was
this
just
is
now, I
your
think, what,
second,
16?
Third, fifth, maybe 20th
We're
show.
lucky we even got into the stadium. We were worried about that, I think, for a while.
Because we are family, you know that?
I'm sure Putin was worried. He didn't have an ID, I don't think.
Together.
He never had an
It
ID.
always sounds better together. So that's what we're going to do here tonight. We're going to dedicate this song to the dedicated Metallica fan.
That's
who
me.
lives it, all right? And for maybe the fan who's gone through some tough times in their lives, like we have. I know we all have to the same extent. So this is dedicated
James talking
to
about
you,
2020.
a fan who's gone through tough times, but has come out maybe stronger. With the help of friends, with the help of family, and with the help of Metallica, I hope. 'Cause what don't kill you, make you more strong.
Broken Beat and Scarred. Song number 3 on the album.
Yes. Yeah, this is a fun one live. One thing I remember about this show, the first couple songs, something was up with the audio in-house, and like you could hear James at his regular register, but like you also heard his voice at like 3 octaves above. I don't know if
Really?
you noticed that
I
or
don't think I
remember that. But like for the first 2 or 3 songs, it was like Metallica and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It was
It totally took me out of the moment.
It was
for
James
like a good
Hetfield and
20
Miles
seconds.
Kennedy.
Yes, yes.
No, I don't remember that. Something I do remember, though, is finally getting to see Metallica. Having seen 1 or 2 shows before, metal show-wise, I didn't realize that you could get lead vocals in-house. Like, because in small clubs, you can't.
Oh no,
You
not
cannot
at
get a
all.
lead vocal in-house.
You better know
good
the
at all.
words and be close.
So, but Metallica, man, Mick takes care of you.
Oh, Mick is the best.
He makes sure that you can hear James Hetfield's beautiful, soothing voice at just the perfect volume.
Yes, Mick is the best, and we've hung out with Mick a couple times. He was a blast. Super nice guy who gave us his time when he definitely did not have to.
Thanks, Mick. So that's Broken, Beat, and Scarred. And, you know, again, does James say anything after this one, too? I guess we'll find out.
Excellent singing, by the way. What? Okay, all right. So you got the album Death Magnetic, I guess.
Yes, we do.
Would you like to hear some more? All right.
Some more.
This one requires the Metallica family
of
of Nashville to participate in this next song. And I will show you what to do. You'll know when it's your turn. This one is entitled Cyanide.
This was so much fun too, though.
Like, I enjoyed this live. It's not one I ever really loved on the album. Like, I don't dislike it, but it's not my favorite by any means. And it's a lot better live.
This part right here was Rob.
Yes. Fun fact, this debuted at Ozfest 2000 and whatever the year is before this was released.
Really?
Yes. I remember I read it online, and then it took like 12 hours for a video to get out, and I was ready, and I'm sure I sent it to you the second I found
Oh,
it.
yeah. So was this one out before The Day That Never Comes?
Yeah, Cyanide was the absolute first single. Like, they just played it live at Ozfest. And
But they
recorded
didn't
the video.
release the recorded version
No.
until after.
No.
Okay. That's crazy. They ended up doing this one during Through the Never, which was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, I didn't expect this one.
I love this right here.
Yeah.
Like just that is so like it's so pretty. All right, so that's Cyanide.
I smell something. Do you smell something?
Yeah,
Is that heavy?
it smells like something heavy, but it also sounds like I need a little something. You know what I mean?
A little something heavy.
A little something heavy.
Hey, how's it going? What's happening?
I don't know who he's talking to, but that's a lucky
We got
person.
some
it
youngsters
wasn't
here in
me,
the front
so-
row. It's unbelievable.
Oh, it's
Oh,
a
it was that
kid.
kid. Yeah.
How old are you?
Oh, that kid's cool.
You're 8?
I can't wait to take my
How old are
kids.
you? 11?
I had to wait till I was
10?
16, James.
Yeah.
Right on. Welcome.
It is cool when they
row,
point
man.
out kids in the crowd.
That's why I want to start taking my kids.
Yes.
You got some cool
That's the whole reason I had kids.
Right.
Okay.
We are the
wait
MetalliDads
till I
podcast,
was
so you
15.
can best believe that maybe one day that'll be us
Like,
Somebody
comment,
cooler than
subscribe.
I
that James is talking to.
All right. Did you guys enjoy our friends in Gojira? The first band that played here tonight? I personally like them very much. Maybe they're too heavy. No? Okay. You like Lamb of God?
We did like Lamb of God. Now,
Most excellent. Well, we appreciate them coming out on the road and helping kick ass, if you know what I'm saying. We'd like to dedicate this next song to them because this is Metallica heavy. Do you want heavy? Nashville, do you want heavy?
yes.
Metallica gives you heavy.
Another Black Album song.
Yeah, those are to be expected. And I loved it the first time I saw it,
God, Sad But True is so
and
good.
even the second. Now it's another one of those. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, but let's replace it with 2x4 and call it a day.
2x4.
Ain't my bitch. Something. I know it'll never happen, but I can bitch if I'd like to.
Could you imagine if like they decided to do a couple steps down on this one?
It's like the Pandemica show. Like, that thing
Dude,
was
now that you
dirty.
mention it, I forgot about that. Because I don't know, we're probably not going to cover that on an episode by itself, so we could talk about it now. The Sad But True during the Pandemica show was so slow.
Dude, that thing was dirtier than Pigpen.
Yes, like it was like just dun 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 dun. Like I remember looking at you like, holy crap.
Like, I wanted to get up and start picking up the change. Okay? It was that heavy.
I'm about to donkey kick somebody, man. Like, it is so heavy. They did that actually, I think, a couple of times. There were a couple of songs that were just dirty slow.
That's just the one that sticks out, but yeah, they did. Like, everything was slower and lower.
Slower and lower. Yeah. Such a good song. You know it's sad but true. Alright. So that's, sad but true. This next one ended up just being a staple for us, for sure, because this is one of your Metallica tattoos, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my mom's favorite Metallica song, so I got it tattooed on my leg.
So, in case you want to know what this song is,
it's our first Metallica cover we ever saw.
First Metallica cover.
I haven't looked at this in a while.
So, obviously, we were in Nashville, so this being the music city of Nashville, country music city of Nashville.
It's very fitting.
Turn the page. We definitely need to let this song go for a minute because of what happens.
Yeah, I know. This is when the pushing finally stopped for a second.
This was the slowest part of the show, other than the beginning of one, which people freak out during that song, so it didn't stop.
Like this one and Nothing Else Matters were the only breaks we had, except maybe the solos.
Which is coming up.
Yeah.
I like the solos, but I like what Kirk and Rob are doing right now, or what they were doing during the Hardwired tour.
Yeah, I like
their
their little cover section.
It was unique.
The show we saw in Alabama was fun.
Dude, yes. Sweet Home Alabama.
With James jumped in on vocals, that made it for me.
Which they've covered,
Skinner
before.
Tuesday's Gone.
What's the part during that song that happens, or at the beginning? They're singing it, and he goes, he's talking, I think, to the producer or somebody.
Jerry!
Jerry!
I think it's Jerry.
Yes, I think so. Or it's Gary.
Gary! That's what it was. I knew it was an Airy.
Gary! For the times you came. This is one of those where the person who did the cover ended up being better than the original. I'm sorry.
It only happens.
No hate, Bob Seger, but it's Metallica, man.
It only happens sometimes, like Johnny Cash and 9 Inch Nails. And I'll give Metallica this song for sure.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful cover. Just because James' vocals fit so well with the style that they went with.
I don't know how he is from California. He sounds so southern when he sings shit like this. Why he can't be from Chattanooga and be my neighbor.
Dude, could you imagine if they were from Chattanooga? Because they do a show in their home city every tour. So we'd get several. We could have had S&M 2 in Chattanooga.
At McKenzie Arena. For those of you who don't know what that is, think of the smallest arena you've ever been in and cut it in half. That's McKenzie Arena.
Oh, by the way, this is the part we were talking about. Here it comes. What she said.
Nashville!
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest memes we've ever had. It's gone on since this night.
Yep. Because we obviously, like we talked about, memorizing this live show from beginning to end, we've said Nashville so loud, and I can't even listen to the recording from Garage Days and not be like, Nashville.
No. Like, my wife gets mad if it comes on the radio and I'm not paying attention, and I don't do it. She's like, where's it at? I was like, sorry, I was driving. I zoned out.
There I go. Yeah. So now also anytime we're in Nashville, we do it. But then at some point we went and saw Kevin Smith do a podcast in Nashville. And he had said Hashville. I think.
Asheville,
He
yes.
said Hashville, and then there's also any Nashville residents. I think there's a Cashville,
Cash,
like a cash title pawn place
Yeah.
called Cashville.
Cashville.
So, anytime we're anywhere, we'll say it. And we're like Nashville, Cashville, Hashville,
Smashville, Trashville, you name it.
Smashville.
I remember I called my mom during this song through my shitty phone and just held it up so she could hear it.
Oh, I'm sure it sounded
Oh, I'm
amazing.
sure it sounded wonderful.
Because you had like the iPhone Pro Max, right? The
Oh,
iPhone
yeah.
Pro.
If memory serves correctly, I had the Palm Trio, which was like a little Palm Pilot. This was just a piece of junk.
The Palm. Was it that one, or what was the name of the one that had the speakers on the side, right there on
didn't
the
have that
hinge? Okay.
But I remember because it had a screen. It was first like touchable.
Oh
it
yeah,
had a
the
pin
Palm,
with it.
the Palm Trio, dude. And that one you had with the flip with the screen, like
Yeah.
those speakers got blown up like day two.
Oh, real quick.
Playing As I Dying.
Yeah. And Kill Switch. What do we got next?
Up next,
I've never really cared for this song. It's just not one that ever jumped up in the list for me.
yeah, and I don't know what it is about it that I just don't care for. I mean, I like the song.
I hate the video. I like the song.
We did talk about that during episode 1. Video trash. Like, if you're gonna, I don't understand the point of releasing a music video if you're not in it, other than just get some hype and whatever. But like the Day That Never Comes video was fantastic.
Yeah, it was very
So
well made
good.
too.
Why couldn't they have done that with this song? I don't need to see little wire robots
Yeah,
doing their thing. Like,
I get it. You're artistic.
and that's cool, but you couldn't have like superimposed Lars's face over
Oh,
the
the
drummer.
Robot.
What is that called? Deep fake.
Deep fake.
You could have deep faked their faces. That was before deep fake was a thing.
Was that around 2008?
No. It's so real now though that you can deep fake anybody. They could deep fake the Queen of England on a James Hetfield's face. Be like, is that the Queen of England?
Yes, yes, yes.
Dude, she's nailing All Nightmare Long right now. So yeah, you got All
My
Nightmare
favorite thing
Long.
about this track is that you heard him say 1-2. That's the best part.
1, 2. Yeah.
What do we got next?
Up next, we'll let our friend Kirk kind of just do his thing.
This is his first solo.
Kirk solo number 1.
I like the first solo. The second solo, you can, if you know music at all, you can tell where it's going. But I love when you hit Kirk guitar on stage and just tell him to play it for 2 minutes. It's always fun.
Fortunately, we haven't had to see Metallica just once during a tour. You know, but spoiler alert, if you see them more than once, you end up hearing the same solo 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's not,
There's small variations, but
Um,
nothing major.
unfortunately, it's not too unique. But at this point, you know, Kirk's done enough. He doesn't have to be.
At this point, I mean, the first show, it's all new to me, so.
I tell you what, though, I do miss the era of Lars drum solos. And I know he's made some sort of explanation why he doesn't do those anymore, but I would have liked to see
I would have
Lars.
liked to have been there for the Lars versus James drum solo.
Yeah. What video is that during? I know it's Black Album era, but
Was it live shit? Did you purge?
probably.
Ish?
I think it was during some.
94, somewhere in there.
That's a cool video. Okay, so if you're following along, that was number 11, and this when you buy back then when you bought the live recordings, it was on 2 discs, so that was complete disc 1. This would be considered the back half of the show, and then we'll jump into this one, which if you remember from our first episode, hearing this particular song.
This one meant a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited when we started that.
Mm.
Like, I knew they were going to play it, but I had no idea they were going to play it, if that makes any sense. We hadn't seen that song since this show, and when they played it at S&M 2, I about fell out.
That was probably one of the bigger surprises.
Yeah, I didn't
hearing
expect
this.
that.
I didn't know. I'd expect the day that never comes. And the fact that it was song number 3, and the fact that they did just the symphony intro, which was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that when we review that show.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to happen. I'm trying to convince my wife to come on for that one because she was at both shows as well.
Yeah.
If not, which it's going to take some work, I'll get somebody who was.
We'll get somebody. We know tons of people that were there. Looking back now, we were so lucky to get a ticket to that show. It was so hard to get a ticket.
I don't know how. Like, we got tickets for both nights via Ticketmaster. As impossible as that sounds.
Yeah.
First try, we didn't have to buy resale. If we had to buy resale, we wouldn't win.
No, it was too expensive.
It was like $800 tickets for the nosebleeds. We were on the floor for the second night.
Yeah, pretty lucky there. Something too that comes to mind anytime I hear this song is your choreography in the car.
Oh,
This
yeah.
song.
We'll make a YouTube video one day to companion with this episode.
I don't know it though. We'd have to get. Or you'd have to show me. I'm sure you know.
It's not hard. It was stupid.
It's so dumb. But being in high school, it's like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah, everything dumb is cool when you're in high school.
That's probably why we like St. Anger so much, right?
Yeah, probably. Except drugs. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Well, we'll move on to the next one. This one was a staple, and this is one of those songs that they play every single show that I'm excited about.
Yeah, I do enjoy this.
This one is a good one.
Whether it's the first or the 17th time.
And we'll let James bring us in. Thanks, James.
Master of Puppets. Now, I was real disappointed because I didn't know that he stopped doing that line live in Master of Puppets. How I'm fucking you? I was real disappointed when he didn't do that, and I did.
Yeah, he don't do that anymore. He does still do Pancakes Go, though.
Yeah,
so.
that's always fun. And he's got me doing Mr. Hammett during Mr. Hammett. Memory Remains.
Yeah, it's no longer Aw Suck It.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Hammett.
Mr. Hammett. All right, well, if you're a Metallica fan, you've heard this song 10 million times, whether you've seen them once or never.
We won't. I'm not gonna say we're gonna bore you because
Let's,
the song's not boring. But
it's not, but
we're
no,
like an
no need
hour.
rehashing Master of Puppets.
It's like, let's break down this song.
Oh, God.
All right, so the next one
Now,
is...
this one surprised me.
It surprised me, but then coming to find out, they were playing it every show.
Yeah.
And now it's a rarity. And now, like, they hardly ever
Not
play
rare,
it.
but they don't play it. It's not a staple. This is one of those songs that if I'm driving down the road, this comes on, especially a live version, I'm doing at least 20 over and never realize it.
We've never seen them open with this song. have we?
No. I don't know that they ever have opened with it.
I'm sure they did back in the day. another track intro, which we hearkened to earlier. It's okay. It's okay to do track intros. We'll let them kind of get into it, and we'll move on. Because this is another one that, if you've heard Master Puppets, you've heard Battery.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to dial in and understand everything that happened.
Oh, yeah, it's coming up, isn't it?
So this next one, of course, we got Battery, and then we'll do Kirk solo number 2. I don't remember what this one sounds like. So you said you preferred the first one over this one.
Yeah, because it leads into the next song.
Oh.
And you see it coming
Better
a mile away.
Nashville.
If you know, you know.
I don't believe it, but I'm feeling better. Please send your eyes and your
He
ears
played this one for a while.
and your love up here to my friend, lead guitar, Mr. Kirk Hammett.
Oh.
Yeah, you know it. You just didn't know you knew it.
Man, that takes it back. I mean, in reality, he plays a variation of this now,
Yeah.
of some variation. So, we've got solo number 2 here, just to kind of move things along because we've been going on for a little while. Next set was Nothing Else Matters. Shocking because of Kirk's guitar
Oh
tone.
my God.
I can't believe he went straight into that song. Like, I thought he would have needed to detune or something. So, Nothing Else Matters, and then straight into Inner Sandman. Not shocking. They still do that.
Which at that point you expect the show to be over, but spoiler alert, it's not.
It's not. They make you think it is.
So, if memory serves, we need to jump to the end of Inner Sandman to tell a little story.
Yeah. We'll let the last part of Inner Sandman go. And then my recordings, but
It's not yours. I forget it's always been like that.
has it really?
Yeah. It's always been
That's
like
probably
that.
how I burned it.
Yeah.
We're missing the back half of Inner Sandman.
That's okay.
'Cause
It wasn't important.
We're sitting here looking at the laptop screen now. It's like, wait a minute, he's doing the count-in. There's like 12 seconds left of this song. What's about to happen? Anyway, so I'm going to let Blake this is his moment, so.
Okay, so I came into the show with a sign stuffed in my pocket. It was probably 1 foot by 2 foot piece of paper.
Literally a piece of paper.
Yeah, it was like
Poster board
poster
paper,
board.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on one side it said 9/14/09, the day that finally came. But on the other side, it had a much more important message. It said, "James, can I have your shirt?" Now, did I expect this to work? No, not at all. But I figured, screw it, we'll try it. You never know unless you try. Would I like to walk out of the Sobe Center with James Hetfield's t-shirt? You bet your ass. But did I expect to? Not at all. So I believe it was after Inner Sandman, he sees the sign, and he throws it into the crowd. Well, unknowingly, I didn't see him do this. So I'm turned helping somebody that we were with get up because they got knocked down in the pit. And this guy, very, very inebriated, runs up to me. He says, "Man, I got it. I got James' shirt." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man, he threw it to me." So James is still at the mic, and I throw it back up. And, I think I'll let you listen.
Yeah. Let's hear James' side of the story on this one. All right. Here it is.
So I throw the sign back up.
Did I miss something? Sorry, I was getting dressed. Get my girdle on. All right, are you still here? Of course we're still here, James, because you guys play on and on and on, man. You just won't stop. Isn't it time to go home yet? I didn't think so. Did you get it? I threw it to you, man. You got it? Can you share it? Is that every? I tried to get it to you, man. I was one person away. It's pretty close. Have a pick. Here, give this guy a pick.
I'm this guy.
All right.
Greatest moment of my life right here.
Love you too, bro.
I died.
All right.
Love you too, bro.
He said that he loved me as well, and I was fit to be tied. I could have left right then and there and been a happiest son of a bitch on the planet, but it gets better.
Dude, like you're in a arena with thousands of people, and James Hetfield's directly talking to you. He took out like 30 seconds of that show and talked directly to you and gave you a pick.
Yeah, he gave this guy a pick, which I still have, of course. But how that story gets even better. So we were with a couple of our friends, rode down with us, as well as my dad, Tyler, and my little sister. Well, one of our friends that was with us saw this drunk dude in the pit with the T-shirt hanging out of his shorts. So she just runs through the pit, snatches it out of his shorts, sticks it under her shirt, and when we got to the top of the arena at the end of the show, she gave it to me, and I cried. I have James Hetfield's T-shirt. It's in a bag in my closet to this day, and it's something I'd never get rid of. It's my favorite possession.
Looking back now, like, could you imagine making anything like that now? Like making a sign that would say...
No, not at all, because I understand who James is now, and I was a kid, so I didn't get it. That was real shitty of me to make that sign. Like, you're playing a show for me. I don't need the shirt off your back. That's a lot to ask. But as a 16-year-old kid who doesn't know any better, it was the greatest moment of my life.
Dude.
I would never do it again. But
now you have
I'm
it.
glad
so-
it happened when I was 16 and I didn't know any better.
And he didn't have to give it to you.
Not at all.
But he totally did, which just speaks to his character.
Absolutely.
And-
Quick side note. If the guy who got the shirt stolen from him ever hears this, sorry, bro, you shouldn't have drank so much.
Sorry. Hey, make you a sign, dude. You never know.
Hey,
James might
hit
give you
me
a
up.
shirt.
I'll give you a pic or something. Not the one he gave me, but I've got some extras.
Yeah.
Or even a poster. Side note, if anyone ever hears this who has the poster from this show, hit me up.
Heck yeah. They made posters at that point still?
There was a small run, and it's fabulous. Like,
Huh.
It is my holy grail poster. I post it in every group when they ask what your grail is, and I have to have it one day. It's
Interesting. I don't think I've never seen it. I know I've never seen it. So yeah, that's James talking to Blake for a little while, and you get his shirt off his back. That's why he said he's getting his girdle on, because he had to go. Someone had to find him a new black T-shirt.
This one had no sleeves.
The one he gave you has no sleeves.
No, the one he put on.
The one he
has no
put on
sleeves.
has no sleeves. Okay. Very interesting. I still can't believe that he did that.
Yeah, that was. Phew. Until I had kids, that was the greatest moment of my life.
Interesting. Yeah, I couldn't imagine asking him to do that now.
No, not at all. I feel like such an asshole if I even asked. I know he wouldn't do it at this point, but
Yeah,
either way.
I feel like he's a different person now.
Yeah.
Because this is 11 years later, but he was still doing meet and greets at the time, so I feel like he was still a social butterfly.
Yeah.
And he is not that anymore. So,
Not at all.
dude, you remember when he did an Instagram run? He had an Instagram for a little while,
Yeah.
and that was awesome. But not anymore. It was during the Orion period.
Yeah. 2013 is when he quit.
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. Meet and greets.
Yeah, that too.
So, yeah. After that, we'll let him kind of tell you what comes next.
You can see there's an extra amp up on stage here. We have the distinct pleasure of inviting on stage with us one of our all-time idols, and I know the reason that Lars is so into music, right? He followed him around, pestered him forever. I think he even threw up on him, something like that.
Oh, Lars.
Lars is the biggest Motorhead fan.
Motorhead? Who could it be?
And here is the godfather of heavy metal.
Kick my ass so hard for
From
not
Motorhead,
appreciating
the one and only
Motorhead at this point in my
Lemmy
life.
Kilmister.
Dude. It's freaking Lemmy, man. Dude, I have seen that. I forgot though. Oh, that is so cool.
I would kill for that.
Okay, so if you're, of course you can't see this, but the Nashville poster is the standard, Metallica type skull with a country boot, like straight up,
Like a cowboy boot.
yeah, cowboy boot, pointed toe. It's got the standard brown leather, but then at the top leg part is red, and it just says Nashville 9/14/09. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was only like a run of 60.
Dude, somebody's sitting on one. Or
I'll,
two.
I'll make a deal with you. I've got some cool posters I would gladly trade.
Yeah. So back to, of course, Lemmy. I don't know if anybody ever played the Brutal Legend, Jack Black's video game.
It was a fun game. I remember that one.
They called Lemmy, was it Mr. Killmeister or something like that? Something similar to that.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's
He's
been a
in the
minute.
game, which is a really cool homage to him. But this was before he passed away, so it wasn't like a anyway.
Posthumous.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll listen to this for a little bit. Damage Case. All right. From the grave. Give it to us, Lemmy.
Now, if you've ever seen the Lemmy movie, they show him playing with Metallica, and it's at this show.
This part was also on the Bet on Tour video. All right, here comes James. I didn't realize until I was listening to this the other day. James got the lyrics wrong just then.
Did he?
He
See, I didn't
just
know.
repeated exactly what Lemmy just said in the first
That's
verse.
funny. And Lemmy knows the lyrics. It's his song.
Yeah. Poor James. It's okay. He probably found out they were doing this song the same day, and they just kind of ran through it a couple times. But
James is notorious for forgetting or repeating lyrics. I'll never forget the time we finally got to see Whiplash, and he fucked up my favorite part. He skipped the Never Stop, We'll Never Quit, because we're Metallica
yeah,
at the Dehon set, and I could have cried.
yeah, there was a lot going on, and we'll talk about that during the
Oh, that'll
Orion
be a
festivals.
fun one.
He had so much going on in his mind at the moment that no wonder he forgot the lyrics.
Yeah.
But it's okay, James. This is not your song, even though you did cover it on Garage Days, but we'll let you have it.
That's been a while.
So I do have to say, as many times as we've heard this CD of this live show all the way through, anytime it got to this song,
Oh, this is the best part.
I'm gonna let Blake answer James's question for us real quick.
Need some more Motorhead, don't you?
No.
You need some more, don't you?
No.
No, we don't.
I'm good.
We're good. So they did Too Late, Too Late. Yep. So there's that. Anyway, so yeah, we got to see Lemmy play with Metallica, which was awesome. Now, be able to say that we were there. I don't always tell everybody how selfish we were at the time.
No. Now everybody will know, but that doesn't matter. At least we saw him.
We did see him. All right, so we went through the whole thing except for one song. So, this is about to wrap it up right here. And during World Metallica Tour, they would always release the big inflatable black
Beach balls.
beach balls, which during if it was any other band or any other show, it would probably be a really cool effect to see in a huge crowd.
Yeah.
But when it's Metallica memorabilia. So the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to get snatched out of the air and immediately brought down.
Yeah.
So it totally defeats the purpose of what it was meant to do, which was create some sort of cool effect of all these beach balls flying around. But that doesn't happen. As soon as you get one, you've got to bring it down into your smushed area and immediately start deflating.
Yes. Glad. I'm so happy I never even messed with that. My dad's got one. That's the first thing he did.
Immediately just snatch, grab, pull down, deflate.
Yeah.
And they did that for a long time too, didn't they?
Yeah.
A long time.
I made it.
I don't even know how they had that many. I'm sure they just kept getting made, but yeah. So anyway, we'll let James tell us what's about to
Family
happen.
Nashville style. Are you ready? 3 simple words you need to know. Seek and destroy!
I do miss them ending with a song. I wish they still did that.
Yeah, I did too. The cool part about this one was James coming down. He didn't even play a good chunk of the song on guitar. He just grabbed a microphone and started walking around. I'm more jealous that I didn't get to sing it than anything.
Yeah. He did that, I think, on every show
Did
of
he?
this tour. I'm sure he did.
No, I know he did in Atlanta because I did that show.
Really?
And I was on the rail for that one.
I wonder why he did it here and not there.
I have no idea. He doesn't love us as much.
Nashville.
That's my favorite part of seeing Seek and Destroy Live, is him saying the city name.
Nashville.
Nashville.
All right, so here comes our first crowd. See how they do. That's a good
Bad.
one. Yeah. That's a good one.
Hey.
This is something else also. Sorry to interrupt you. This is something else too that I definitely would never see him do again. Come down to the crowd.
Oh, no, not at all.
My favorite one is towards the end, and you'll know which one it is because it's good.
Six out of 10.
Meh.
I think that was a kid, so
Yeah.
I'll give it.
That's okay. I think it's this one. Yep.
Definitely
that's
not
one.
bad.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
This sucks. Hi, Lars.
Hey, Lars. Hi.
Miss you.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll start wrapping it up here. You want to talk about what we're going to say next episode?
Yeah. Next episode will be an album review. I think we're going to start with Load. And just kind of go track by track and Go from there.
I know that might seem arbitrary to randomly start with load, but I mean, I don't know.
Why not? We love that album. A lot of people don't. Some people do.
Some people do.
At least we didn't start with Saint Anger.
You're right. We could have totally.
I would have been down.
and we could have done it. We really could have, but we won't. We're gonna.
Yeah.
Do it at some
it's
point.
coming. I promise. That's what she said.
And it's going to be probably one of the most positive Saint Anger reviews ever made.
Oh yeah, people who hate that album, don't listen.
You should listen, because we're going to change your mind.
That's the plan.
This is the
Tall
only political
order.
statement I'll make. It'll be the Steven Crowder meme, where it's like, I love Saint Anger, change my mind.
I'm gonna go make that meme now.
And we'll just make that the album, or the
Yeah.
episode cover. We love Saint Anger, change our mind.
Yes.
So,
I think that's a good place to wrap it up, dude. One more time, like and subscribe, please, on all platforms. Send us an email. What's the email, Tyler?
MetalliDadsPodcast@gmail.com.
Well, I am Blake Metallica.
And I'm Tyler Sanford. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to a complete episode of the MetalliDads podcast. We appreciate you spending your time with us. If you enjoy what we're doing around here, please leave us a review on the Apple iTunes Store and on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, you should follow us on our socials. That's on Facebook and Instagram, MetalliDads Podcast. We'd like to have you on the show, so send us an email or contact us at MetalliDadsPodcast@gmail.com. And as always, thanks for listening.
Nashville, did you have fun tonight? Thank you so much. Follow